Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and pretty much we got an overwhelming majority of people saying they wanted to see me do the Earth Elemental basics next, so that is where I'm going to be starting today. Of course, before we do anything, we've got to generate which soundtrack we're going to use, since we have 3 options. Only makes good sense, so let's go ahead and hit that RNG button and... well, that's weird. Okay, maybe next time I'll just do a coin flip. But it's selected the basic soundtrack again, so hey, who am I to complain? Alright, so the question quickly becomes, which Earth-based basic are we going to study first? And I think the right answer is Earthen Knuckles. So let's go ahead and put on a different robe. There we go. And for just a quick moment, we'll also take off anything that can give me an attack power boost. There you go. Alright, so that is how Earthen Knuckles starts. It has decent knockback, obviously very good damage for a basic. It goes 16, then 18. That's a total of 34, which isn't bad for just 2 hits. Just also remember, we were getting more than that out of Bolt Rail. But still, not bad. Now, because it only scores 2 hits, it doesn't exactly score very high on the Sidewinder's Badge test. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try it. So that single hit does 20, which actually not bad. So that brings it up to 43, which is not bad, but doesn't quite match up to some of the other things that we've done with our relics, and again, it doesn't quite live up to Bolt Rail, but it's very close damage-wise. Earthen Knuckles is definitely strong. It's got stopping power. What it doesn't have is speed. So just to give you an idea, right now I am mashing the button, and that's as fast as those 2 hits will come out, and there's that big frame line, there's that big cooldown at the end. So after the second punch, I am going to be holding left, or yeah, right actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to be holding right, and you can see how long it takes after you throw the second punch before we can move. Okay, so I got up button there a little bit, but as you can see, you've got... let's see, I don't exactly have a frame counter on, but you've got, looks like somewhere between 8 and 15 frames before you can... I think it's about 10 frames, actually, before you can start to move without dash canceling. And that's important to note, is that you can dash cancel out of most things in this game. But also consider how long it takes between the first and the second punch. It doesn't look that bad, but when you've got enemies coming on all sides of you, and especially the ghouls and the rogues who can hit you out of that pretty quickly, it becomes kind of detrimental to have such a slow combo. But that's not all, because when you upgrade it, it just becomes one big punch for 28. Look at that, bam! Bam, 28, 28, 28, 42 on critical. Now that doesn't sound bad on paper until you realize that, in all seriousness, this is actually a good deal slower than even before, because now you don't have a second hit to link it to. The knockback isn't bad, so it's not all doom and gloom when you're using Earthen Fist, but the same frame delay between punching and being able to move again naturally without the dash cancel is right there. So, I mean, I suppose right now the question you would be asking is, but Dark Sage, why wouldn't you want to dash cancel at the end? And the short answer is you wouldn't. The long answer is you want to avoid that frame delay cooldown as much as possible because you need to get work done. So the other thing you might notice is that the one punch doing 28 is not as good as just as two punches for 34. And again, you would be right. Pardon me. So what one would have to assume is that just over the course of just punching over and over again, the extra damage would show up over time. Now we're going to quick go over how I feel about the candies, which is pretty much a mixed bag for most of the candies. Once again, I would say that Cabby's Cotton Candy is probably the best one. Because it just synergizes well with close range basics, and also enforces slow on your opponents, which can get you out of a bind. It would be followed closely by Cabby's Raw Chocolate, mostly because the projectile that it fires moves a little bit slower than the other candies, so using it with close range ensures that you'll at least get it off more, that it'll at least hit something more frequently than not. The bubblegum and the cinnamon dots I would rate as rather average with this one. And again, you want to keep away from the citrus sweets because as I showed you with the other basic that I did this with, I believe it was pardon me. I think I'd showed that with Bolt Rail. The Ball Lightning will knock enemies out of your combo, so you want to stay away from that as much as possible. Now, the obvious reason why everyone likes, a lot of people really seem to like Earthen Knuckles, and the reason for that isn't necessarily because of Earthen Knuckles by itself, but it's because of the combo between it and Fueled Berserk, making it one of the better targets for Fueled Berserk, and especially if you have the upgrade, which I will show you. Now that is an awful lot of damage to pile on all at once, I won't lie. But honestly, outside of that, that's kind of all that Earthen Knuckles has going for it. So let's review. It's got good damage, good stopping power and knockback, and obviously it's got a pretty big hitbox, especially on the enhanced version. I mean, look at that. I'm not even close to being aligned with this guy, and I'm still hitting him. Like, it has to be pretty far out of alignment before I actually miss. But because of the speed of the Knuckles, it leaves something to be desired. It doesn't go horizontally very far. Like, I'm pretty sure that both Fiery Yo-Yo and Bolt Rail outrange it. And, like I said, it's just really slow. Remember those frame delays, because those are not worth ignoring. You want to be paying attention to that, because you need to know whether or not you're going to be going in for combos, or whether or not you need to back off. Like, it's not very easy to combo with this thing. So let's actually proceed to build our run here. Now, I think there's no question we're going to be going with just a power run. It makes the most sense when you're running this, but let's see. I think we're just gonna start with Merchant's Cart, and we'll just kind of pick up whatever comes our way. So that's gonna boost our starting damage from 34 to 38. See? Not bad. Alright, now we should also go some form of control and something and another just high damage bruiser of an attack. So what do it? Now, normally when I think about just big high damage bruiser attacks, obviously there's Crashing Meteor. But then there's things like Inferno Beam can do the job, but I mean, the problem with Inferno Beam is that also holds you still. But Dark Sage, you can dash cancel out of it. You can, but it also ends the beam wherever you dash cancel away. So, for my money, I think we have to go with either Blazing Lariat or Exploding Fireball. Airborne Slam is also a good bruiser attack. Shattering Strike is also pretty good. Hammer of Atlas is okay for that. See, Shock Nova is more of a multi-hit thing, but that can work. Now, once again, I meant to actually select it. The problem with Ball Lightning is that, yeah, it can get the job done, but this is something you want to use more so in conjunction with other ranged attacks and ways to hold enemies still, because, yeah, as you can see, that's doing right around ass loads of damage. But it's also knocking enemies way out of my combo range. So definitely something you want to pick up when you've got a bit of a ranged assault that you're going with. I think that'll work. We're gonna go for a nice little boxing glove of a run here. So now the last thing we need is control. There we go. I think we've got ourselves a run. Now, I've explained to you the reasons why I'm a little down on the Earthen Knuckles, but the only reason, I'm sorry, not the only reason, but the only way to really explain it further is to show it to you in combat. And I wanted to start at the Living Courtyards, and I am an idiot. I just kind of want to get Big Daddy Atlas out of the way immediately. And of course, that was my one opportunity. Alright, here we go, starting the run 15 minutes in. So one of the upsides that you're clearly going to notice is, and I've already brought this up, but this bad boy's got power to spare. Like, even against an enemy that's resistant to it, each combo is still doing 31. That's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, sir. As much as I like the Dagger of Midas, I don't know. Now, what that does mean is because the base damage on this is so high, it means that every little bit of additional damage you get is going to be particularly effective with this basic. Because as you can see, I only started with plus 1%, and that's changed my overall damage quite a lot. Okay, wait a minute. No, not plus 1%, plus 11%. Let me not be stupid here. But again, I point out that the Earthen Knuckles does not have a great range. You basically have to get right up into your opponent's face to make things happen with the Earthen Knuckles. Which for some of you, that's fine. That's the way you like it. I personally prefer things a little bit more controlled than that. In my runs. Like, if I'm going to use close range things, I want to know that it's a part of a combo that's going to maintain control. I'm not just running up to the enemy, just going, "Aha! I am going to get you!" Basically what I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense to bring your fist to a spell slinger fight. Okay, so also funny that I mentioned Inferno Beam and she's selling it now. Alright, so I can actually give Dr. Song my unenhanced twin turbines and then get the enhanced version for a nice cheap price. And we get the Elixir of Might. Beautiful. It's even more damage on top of what we're doing. You love to see it. Yeah, just love to see it. Now, lightning and fire. So we're probably not going to go with Bolt Claymore, just for the simple fact that that both Atlas and the twins, of course, are going to resist it. Which means that I'm pumping a lot of money into something for not a lot of payoff. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and hope that we find some of the other Midas relics or some way to boost our income. Alright, so far so good. We could be doing better, but you know what? Not bad so far. I think I'm just going to continue on. Save the money that I have for the next floor. Obviously, by the end of the run, we're going to hopefully be just hoarding gold. Which means that if we run into Nox, we're going to be looking for the Alchemist Stone. Oh, hello, sir. You've got a supply crate. Nice. I may want to pick that up. Alright, why don't we just pick it up now? Now, one question that we should be asking ourselves is it worth it to upgrade this? And unfortunately, there's no real easy way to answer that question. Because, like I said, it probably does more damage over time, but the 2 hits is a greater burst. Alright, that was a waste. And that is very much a maybe. Well, that was smooth. Alright, so just insofar the run is not bad. As you can see, without twin turbines, we'd be having a hard time getting in to get any real damage done. Now, I can already hear many of you saying, yeah, but Dark Sage, this is clearly meant to be a boss killer. Because they're going to sit still after they launch their volleys of spells. Okay, yeah, you are right about that. Problem is, you still have to use it for the regular mobs. And against them, it really just depends on how hectic things are. Yeah, I can see myself getting some use out of Dragon Blast. So, as of right now, everything probably looks like it's going just fine. But, as I've said before, you really can't judge how well an Arcana will do based on the first floor. Or I should say, how a run will do. The first 2 floors are there to get you warmed up. Which, incidentally, that's also why I typically choose to go against the enemies that are resistant to the most of my spells early, because they'll be easier to take out in that environment. Yeah, it's not going to help very much. Pardon me. So another piece of advice I'm going to give when using Earth Knuckles is make sure you have some means of controlling enemy movement when you're using it. Like, if you have to run into your enemy's face in order to get off good damage, then make sure that you don't have a lot obstructing you in the way. And that could be anything from just like things that are just going to continuously hit stun them. Oh, that was not smart. You know, like that. Or things that are just going to leave them paralyzed, like Spark Array. Just make sure you're holding on to something that can let you control things, and preferably from a decent distance. Because I've said it before, and I will definitely say it again, range is a great asset in this game. And even if you are running primarily melee, you're still gonna want something that can get the job done at range. Alright, so now I need to answer the question of, do I want the upgrade? You know, in gigantic air quotation marks, upgrade. Now, because I have a run that's focusing on adding additional damage as much as possible, I think it will be worth it just because we are going to get more damage per hit. So I'm hoping that getting the bigger damage bonuses on the slightly harder hitting Earth Knuckles will be worth it. You know, for taking our combo down to one hit. Okay, I see where our red portal is. Right, well, there's no reason not to go with the prestigious diploma. Oh, and that also does increase gold gain. So that will definitely be a bonus for our Dagger of Midas. And then, yes, we'll just go ahead and grab that. And hopefully you can now understand what I mean when I say that this is iffy. Having a single hit basic like this is just not very kicking. I don't mean it's like not exciting, I mean it has a hard time keeping things under control. At least the 2-hit Earthen Knuckle had multiple hitboxes that you could throw out in order to get things to happen. And yeah, it's strong, but strong doesn't always matter when you've got a lot going on screen. The other thing to think about there is how well it can combo. Now, because it doesn't have a combo in and of itself, you basically just have to do the one hit and then throw something else at it. Now, for some of you that might not be a problem, as this may lend itself very well to your playstyle. For me, it just feels awkward, to say the least. Got a nice double relic drop there, though the relics themselves aren't necessarily the most useful things in the world. But we are going to grab that. Yeah, we've got Zeal coming up. We're gonna need all the icy swords we can get. How dare you interrupt my casting? There we go. Yeah, I don't really care for that. Actually, let me look at it. And also increases fire damage. Ah. Okay, well, you know, it was worth looking at, but not the most helpful thing in the world. I mean, you've pretty much got trash. Grab the cinnamon dots. Cinnamon dots does not help very much. Neither does the gloves of Gambit's replacement. Let's grab that. Oh. I mean, there's almost no chance I'm making it through them without taking damage. I'd like to point out that as of the time of recording on this particular video, I am looking at it being about 1:15 a.m. So, super tired? Not really, but definitely feeling a little iffy when it comes to my energy level. Interesting that would show up 2 runs in a row. Though I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to get it to trigger as many times this run as I did the last run. Still, okay, never mind. Can't even make good use of that. Get rid of that crap. Alright, well, let's just move on. There will be other chances to buy relics and see what's being put up for sale. There is no reason for us to settle. Now, I know it looks like I did a really good job of piling on damage, but keep in mind, I was doing about the same amount of damage per hit with the Crystalline Ballestra as I was with the Knuckles. Okay, well, Cartographer's Quill is showing up a bit late, so I don't know how much I want to rely on that. No problem with the Mercury Sandals, though, and the Stygian Turtle showing a great defensive relic. And also, as I'm doing this, keep in mind that one of the strengths of Earthen Knuckles is its high knockback. But also, keep in mind how many situations that's not super relevant in. Like, throughout much of this run, having high knockback has not exactly been to my greatest benefit. Which is not to say it hasn't helped at all, but when your combo consists of one hit, and again, I'm putting the word combo in massive air quotes there, that little bit of knockback just isn't gonna get the job done. And knockback isn't always super useful. Now, one combo that I do admit would probably be pretty useful with the old Knuckle Dusters here is you use this alongside Fading Petal. This Fading Petal, I think, has the range to be an effective combo linker with this. But I think it might, and don't quote me on this because I haven't tested it, but I think it might actually throw enemies out of the range of the Aquatic Vortex, which is the other combo linker that I really like. Alright, I don't necessarily want to give Nocturne anything, but if we get a good upgrade from Iris, then maybe. See, now this is a room where the knockback is relevant. Okay, so we do have the Ballestra. So we will make an attempt to see if Nocturne gives us anything fun. Eh. I mean, both of these spells are just kinda eh. And she's replacing with Water Prison. Okay, I like Water Prison, but I've pretty much got my run decided. Fortune has smiled upon me again! Shiva's water bottle is powering up my 2 water elemental attacks. Alright. No luck with the freebie there, but you know what? That is A-okay. Now, let's quick finish filling in the map so that we can get the maximum bonus out of Cartographer's Quill. And is the bonus going to be huge? No, not at all, but it's still a bonus. And remember, with the high base damage of all of the Arcana I have, Earthen Knuckles included, you want to be trying to eke out as much extra damage as possible because every little increase helps. Okay, I openly admit to getting a little beat up there. And there's still the opportunity for Unicorn Disguise, so I'm hanging on to that. Even if I don't get it, who doesn't love a good rainbow? It is just pretty. It's pretty, and it ruins the bit rates. Though not as much as some things that I know about. Alright, so this doubled relic drop thing has actually been working out quite well for me. And you already know what's about to come up. As much as I love me some Unicorn Disguise, it's hard to beat a good fairy friend. There's nothing here I want. Hello, sir. What do you have for me? Yes, I will definitely unite fairy friends. You would have to be some sort of fool to think I wouldn't. There we go. Now I might have to spend some money on a healing potion, because I have gotten a little beat up. I don't necessarily want to, but let's face it, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do what you gotta do. And believe me when I say that survival comes before looking cool. Because let's say that I was to end every combo striking a heroic pose, which, yeah, by all rights, that looks cool. But if I then get slapped in the face every time I do it, it stops being cool and starts being, well, why the hell are you doing that instead of focusing on, not getting hit? And there's only so many ways for me to say, don't be Captain Ginyu. It's like, hey, you see what the guy with the purple skin guy over there with the horns is doing? Don't do what he does. And that's map completion. Very good. Alright, let's see what kind of condition we're in after this fight. Okay, so... Okay, here's what I think I'm going to do. Get rid of that. We're going to come over here and we're going to take the Golden Saber. Because now, instead of a 12% bonus, we've got a 20% bonus. And it now applies to everything. So, looking much better. Also, I'm going to play it safe because I remember what happened last time. Probably should have put Heroic Maelstrom over Dragon Blast, but oh well. Alright, well this time went a lot better. Dang. Oh, that didn't feel right. And again, you all know how I feel about Flame Fusion. And if you're unsure about whether or not it was a good move to put it over Dragon Blast, well, I was about to demonstrate, and then, you know, Fuckface decided he wanted to throw a bunch of stuff my way. And then I threw that... God. As soon as I try to make a point, everything just works against me. There you go. See that 207 there? That should be enough proof to understand why I wanted Flame Fusion. You know, honestly, I think I'm good. So I know it looks like Earthen Knuckles is being represented really well here. I'd like to point out that the real star of the show here are my relics, not necessarily Earth Knuckles. Because every time I throw out Earth Knuckles, I keep going, God, I should be getting more hits than this. Owie. That didn't work out well. And also, despite the high damage that it doesn't necessarily stun very long either. Really? I didn't even get the final hit with Earthen Knuckles. In conclusion, what I will say is that if you're going to run Earthen Knuckles, either run it with as much power as you possibly can to get that damage up there, so you can take out your enemies quickly, or run it with Fueled Berserk. Preferably with Demi's Teapot so that that Fueled Berserk lasts a little bit longer. But by itself, I honestly think that Earthen Knuckles might be one of the worst basics in the game. In this case, the power just doesn't make up for what you lose in control. And it definitely suffers for that, especially if you're not getting good relics and you need to rely on your combat chops. Your combat chops are going to be being dragged down by Earthen Knuckles because it can only do so much. But that's all I've got for you today. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that stupid useless bell to be notified of when I upload my next video, which the next one is going to be Obsidian Splitter, and I'm probably going to make some folks mad when I talk about that one. But anyway, we're almost through all of the basics now. We've got the rest of Earth, Water, and then Chaos. So I guess that's like, what, another 10 videos? I guess we're not that close to the end. But anyway, the whole point is subscribe to make sure that you guys catch them when they get uploaded. Drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe. If you're feeling really super awesome, the link to my Patreon will be in the description below. I am planning on adding some special content to my Patreon page, just for those of you who are willing to make a pledge. So don't think that it's completely useless. There will be some stuff there. As a matter of fact, the run that I had done as the background for the channel update video, I might start by just posting that full run there. No commentary, it would just be the run, but you guys can see the weird kind of up and down roller coaster that run was. But I'm rambling at this point. I'm just going to call it there. Again, thank you for coming and spending some of your free time with me. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you